it's Don Skaggs with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we try to help you to help others by taking innovations, great ideas, and opportunities and helping you to turn them into real things like products, businesses that make money. So today I want to talk to you about those 5 words that maybe you've heard before, and if you haven't, maybe you need to hear. And those 5 words are this. You better write that down. You ever hear that before? You ever hear when you've got a great idea, or you're talking and you're saying, well, what about this? And you're talking about some concept or idea, and somebody says, that's a great idea. You'd better write that down. Well, let me tell you a little story and maybe try to clear up some misconceptions from some changes that's happened over the years to the patenting process. Back a few years ago, and for a very long time, if you wanted to capture the idea for your invention, one of the things you were supposed to do was write it all down in what they called an Inventors Notebook. And it was the type of notebook you couldn't tear the pages out of, so you couldn't like put pages in or take pages out. And so you'd record everything about your idea. You'd have somebody witness it that understood it. You'd have them sign it. And this was your record. And this was your record that it was dated. This was when I came up with this idea. And it stamped you as the first inventor and the actual inventor in the United States. Well, in 2013, all of that changed. And we moved from what was called a first to invent country to a first to file country. So the inventor notebooks that we all had really didn't matter anymore. It was whoever made it to the patent office first with a provisional patent or a non-provisional patent. And whoever made it there first was the first inventor. Didn't matter if you had these books or not. Now, there was good and bad to that, and I wasn't really a big fan of it when it first came out, and I don't know if I'm really still a big fan of it now, but I'm one of those types of inventors and entrepreneurs, and I think this is important, that you try to find the bright spots of whatever is coming your way that you have no control over. And this was something that we didn't have any control over. It just happened. You know, the people that decided to do it, and it was what it was. So trying to find the bright spots in this, looking back at it, it really had kind of one good effect that I saw. And that was that one thing I would notice is that when we were first to invent, and we had to put everything in a notebook, and if we had it in this notebook and it was signed and witnessed and dated, that we were the inventor. So this was our proof. So I'd see a lot of inventors that would do these books, and then they would squirrel them all away in a basement somewhere. They may have stacks of these in places, and they just kind of sat on them and they didn't do anything. And that's really, really kind of bad. So it really kind of put a fire under us, be it good or bad, to move forward with our inventions and to get to that provisional patent and to take that next step, because it's very, very important that you do that, whether we're first to file or first to invent. But we're first to file now. But does that mean that you just need to throw away the whole record-keeping notebook thing? Absolutely not. Because documenting your idea is very, very important. And it's important for 2 reasons. One is for the legal record, and the other one is for you. And let me talk about the legal record first. The legal record, you're eventually going to have to file a provisional patent if you're going to be the first inventor to file. So you've got to get those words down. If you wanted to do a patent search, if you're seeing an attorney, or if you're going to be what they call a pro se inventor and write your own patent, which a lot of inventors do, and there's a whole other video about that. There's actually a whole class about that we talk about. But if you are, no matter what you're going to do, but you're going to take that next step, you have to at some point file a provisional patent if you want to be the first to file inventor. Well, in order to do that, you've got to write this down. You've got to get this into good descriptive words. Even if you're doing a search, one of our automated searches, or you're going to see a patent agent to do a search, either way, or you're searching on your own. Either way, you are going to want to have the right words. If you don't have it written down descriptively in the right way, you're not going to really be able to do a good search. You're not really going to be able to write a good patent. So documenting is extremely important to do that. You can't just show up with a napkin sketch in an attorney's office and say, here, make me a patent. Well, of course, the patent attorney will say, sure, that'll be $10,000. We'll do all the work for you. And, you know, I always liken a patent attorney kind of like a going to the grocery store. You know, you go to the grocery store, they give you a big old cart. And you take that cart around the grocery store and you can fill it all the way overflowing. And if you take it up to the checkout register, guess what? They will sell you everything in that cart. Same thing with a patent attorney. If you just load a bunch of stuff in the cart, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars. Now, do you need those things? Maybe, maybe not. So we try to teach you to do it a smart way. And the really good way to begin is by documenting it. You know, also something happens when you start to put your ideas and your thoughts and your creativity and put them down on paper. Something almost magical happens when you start to write these things down. They really start to take shape. And they'll also start to teach you things. There's this kind of a feedback loop where it makes you think of other things. When you write it down and you read through it and go, oh yeah, well now, you know, what about this? Oh, I'd never thought about this before. And then you write that down too. So that's why documenting is just such an important first step. You've got to write stuff down. And it's a continual process. You're doing it your entire life of your invention. Every time something significant happens, you want to write that down. Every time you think of something new, you want to write that down. Every time you get new feedback, either from testing in-house or testing out in the field, you want to write all that down. Because documenting is very, very important. It's very important for your ultimate legal record. But more important, it's good for you. Again, it's going to teach you things. It is going to move you forward. Now again, don't just write a bunch of stuff and then squirrel it all away and sit on it. You can't do that anymore. But use it as a forward, momentous step to get you to that next place in the process. Because documenting is important, and it's important for those two reasons. Again, it's good for the legal record, but it's also important for you to get those thoughts out, get those thoughts down. If you need help with that, if you're looking for next steps, check us out, empoweredinventing.com. Hope you like this video. I hope these are helpful for you, instructive for you. Again, I'm Don Skaggs, empoweredinventing.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, share us with other people you think this might help. And I will look to see you, maybe at one of our online meetings, maybe at one of our workshops in Kentucky, or maybe one of our online classes, or at least on the next video.